Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Paul Traney here with the one and only Zachery Nielson right next to me.
What's up, guys?
Chris Cannon. What's up, Chris? Zach, I know, Zach, you've been with us before.
Yep, a couple months ago, yeah.
And it was only so, it wasn't so painful that you wouldn't come back. So thank you. Thank you for returning. And you brought a designer with you as well. So,
I did.
yeah, I'm glad to have you guys here this morning. Essentially, we're going to kind of dive into the schedule here in a second. Welcome Ash, Steve, Aman, Eric, Lindsay. We got a full 3 days. And even Friday, we'll be doing some things as well. So it's going to be super fun. We got a lot going on. Yes, with Zach, Chris, and Paul today. Is it okay that we call you Zach?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Awesome. Awesome. So this week on Adobe Live, we're going to dive into this. You just heard Sarah Raj, the daily creative challenge going on with XD. So get involved in that. Really cool projects coming through there. We have Zach and Chris for an hour and a half, or actually 2 hours, sorry. And then Sarah's going to be back 11 to 1. And then Andrea Hawk from 1 to 3. So all day long, just hang out with us. That'd be super cool. Osama and Aaron, wherever you are, always like to hear where you're from. We're here in beautiful, beautiful San Francisco, as you can see. Looking out these windows to the fires to the north. Just kidding.
Beautiful seagull.
Beautiful. Yes, we're totally not in a big room with no windows. So what you don't know is we actually just locked Zach in here till since he's been in here since last time, by the way. But he's been
I
working
didn't
away.
read the contract, apparently.
He didn't read the contract. It's like, I guess I'm contractually obligated to stay in this room. There was a typo, and like, oh, you got to stay here, Chris. You and Chris, actually. So kind of want to click through kind of your portfolios and do a shout out for you two, if I could. Is that okay? So,
yeah, for sure.
And you can always find this in the little info tab as well, but you can see Zach Nielson's work. ZacheryNielson.com, hailing from Salt Lake City, right? Same with Chris, Salt Lake City area.
Yeah, Salt City.
That's cool. So feel free to jump in there, appreciate their work, follow them, stalk them on social media. I don't need to go through all of these, but I like this. I think even as I look over your portfolio, kind of there is somewhat of a consistent look, kind of dark with this white pop of text, which is kind of cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, definitely like a pretty clear, clean style, which I like a lot. And I'm going to jump over here to Color With Us. Chris, you want to tell me about Color With Us? I would love to.
Yeah, for sure. So the focus there was, so this is the small studio that I created with me and another person, and the focus there is to really work on the technology side, but also there's processes that go along with certain things. So when you do branding or when you do your digital experience, in essence, that's really what we focus on and really strive to create both the technology and use it for an analytical purpose. So a website, right? A website is not just, it's not just a page where people go, you're actually using it for a purpose. So that's really what the concept is there.
I love it, yeah, and I agree with Melissa. That's a super easy name to remember and pretty solid. And you also mentioned there's a new website coming.
There is,
momentarily.
Tomorrow, Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Boom, so stay tuned. We have you two for 3 days, and it's gonna be awesome. So, welcome Steve and Pam from Berea, Kentucky. Yes, good to have you here, and yeah. So here we are. So what is the plan today, by the way? And we'll talk about Chat and Win. We'll talk about the creative challenge and things like that in a little bit. But what do you guys think the plan is today for us three? Mainly you two.
Right.
I'm just going to try to take all the credit.
We're supposed to have a plan.
We thought you were supposed to come up with a plan.
I thought you were. When it was ice.
Wait,
I didn't say. Wait. Hold. Put the video on pause. No, just kidding. While we sort it out. Just kidding. But yeah, you guys do have somewhat of a plan, and I like it. Either way works out. However fleshed out or not fleshed out.
Right, yeah.
What is the plan
So
today?
we're going to be doing a restaurant website experience from desktop to mobile. So today our focus is kind of showing how you can actually wireframe in XD, which I know a lot of people don't do that, but it's something you can definitely do, and it can actually help your creative process a lot, I think. So that's kind of the plan for today, is get those done.
Get a wireframe done in XD. And so, yeah, that sounds cool. We could talk about the pros, maybe the cons. Just, I mean, a lot of times, with a lot of this, it's just whichever way you prefer to work. And really, it's probably about however fast you can work as well.
Right.
Because I think when you're doing wireframes, you're trying to get ideas down quickly and not get too hung up like with the design of it.
Right.
Does that sound correct?
Absolutely.
And layout too. We want to make sure that obviously layout, because there's different. There's broken grid. There's a 1200 pixel grid, right? So we want to make sure we have those broken down. And that nice thing is you can prototype, so you can see if it'll work correctly.
Yeah. No, that is good. And refraining from designing it all.
Yes.
Because I think that's the easy part. Like, you don't just keep it gray. Keep it gray or whatever you like. Keep it neutral, whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So good to have you here. Fantastic. It is going to be super exciting. So you said what's the theme?
It's a restaurant website. The brief is kind of a luxury website or luxury restaurant that's kind of trying to showcase their taste and their brand on their website.
Okay, cool.
But we don't have any classes, so we're just going to keep it one level.
Yeah, everybody, all are welcome.
Yeah.
That's good. And so nice. We're talking a sort of classy restaurant and to showcase this high-end restaurant basically through the website. Are you going to, when you say website, do you mean like, is it desktop and mobile?
Right, yeah, we're going to do desktop and mobile versions for sure.
The website experience. Yeah.
Yep.
That is cool. Yeah, let's kind of, I guess, dive into this. If you have any questions, feel free.
Good question from Mark. Chris, what do you think? What's the best grid to use in web and mobile app projects for you?
I actually think your artboards need to be decided. I typically start with an HD, right? I'll go 1900 plus or 1920 plus, and then I've got my tablet and then mobile. And I don't use a 375, which is a bigger iPhone. I actually use the 320 so that way I know that's my last point that I hit. And then I'll actually work on the grid, which is I use a 1200 pixel grid and I break off of that.
Awesome.
And then move that down.
Yeah, sweet.
So basically you start, you got to dumb it down for me. When you're designing a website, you kind of start with the larger form factor, like desktop size.
Because you have to remember there's certain concepts that you need to, and I hate the word responsive websites because I think that is not the case anymore. You really have to have, and Adobe XD does very good about that. They give you different ones. I will start with the web 1920.
Okay, right on.
And then I'll do another one that's your lower version of the web 1920, and then I'll do the iPhone
670. SE 320.
Oh, okay.
So one of the smaller, that's like your work, like
yours. So that's my top one's 1920 and my bottom one is 320. And the reason why I do that is because each one of them has a different experience. You don't want to take away from the web experience or give hover to something you're not going to be using on a mobile, because mobile doesn't have hover. So each one, and that's why I call them experiences, because each one of them has a different experience.
Yeah, exactly. And look at the difference. I just kind of pulled these two up. Anytime you select the artboard tool right over here, it'll give you the presets over off to the side, and even after you have it selected. But that's quite a difference. Yeah. Wow. So.
And then if you check the grid box.
Oh yeah.
The grid box actually will give. This is kind of the question that someone mentioned here. I would recommend using this, and you guys do a very good job at this. But again, on the larger one, I'll use a 1200 pixel grid. With the columns at a 12, and then the gutter is usually 24 is what I usually do. And that can change, right? You just want to make sure that you're comfortable with what you're designing at. But I mean, 12 is nice because you can go up to 15. You can go and you can divide it all the way down to 4 like it is in the SE, the iPhone SE.
That's true.
So
just definitely
really good.
Yeah.
I love that you start on the big screen and then go to the smallest form factor. I think it's really smart that you do it like that.
Yeah.
And it's actually just nice to have them both in the same view, just to be aware of
perspective, right?
Yeah, what you're gonna have to do at the end of the day.
And you the only one that I do recommend doing is doing a portrait of the iPad, because it's a lot different when you're looking at it from a landscape versus portrait. So that's one I would add in there too.
Yeah, you got it. So,
and that's what I give my clients is 4 screens to decide what they're doing. Yep.
Yeah, I can get rid of
got
this one. You guys got it. Anyways, that's all in your presets, like super easy. And yeah, we'll talk about some of the UI kits and different things as that. And I probably missed a question in there. So yeah, and I do think that somebody brings up a good point about like some people do mobile first.
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
totally. I think it's what you're comfortable with as a designer. I mean, if you were a app designer for years, right, doing iOS or Android, and then you moved over and wanted to do web, of course you're going to start that direction because you're comfortable with that, and that's what I think you should do.
Yeah, no, that works, and yeah. So I guess we'll dive into this.
Absolutely.
Shall we? Yeah. And just so you are, we do have the daily submissions. This week's going to be a little bit different. We have daily challenges going on. XD Daily Challenge will basically the goal is to design and create a send cash mobile app. And then tomorrow it's going to be different. And on day 3 we have portfolio reviews, which are really fun. So get those ready. But again, day 1 is design and create a send cash mobile app. I want to create a receive cash mobile app because that's what I want. Just let me receive it.
I'm not sending my money.
I don't want to send my money. I want to receive it. I just download that app and like money actually just like naturally like, appears in this thing? Does that exist? Because I want
just
one.
create a GoFundMe account.
Oh, GoFundMe.
And every day,
help us all.
just do it.
So just so you know where that is, I'm going to switch to my screen really fast. You got it. Thank you so much. It says Daily Challenge right here. Zoop. Highlighted it, and that's where you can see the Send Cash mobile app. So it could be you can send cash using a QR code through your contact list, and that's about it. I'm just kind of double checking this. Yeah,
That's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for the colors and the brands that are gonna be created.
yeah.
That's a fun one.
And there's no stipulation on number of screens, is what I was just double checking.
Really? Okay.
So you could, it probably is going to mean a couple screens, like sort of finding the person you want to send the money to, entering in an amount from which account, and then a confirmation screen. So I could see a 3-screen process.
For sure.
Good luck to everybody, by the way, because this is part of the daily XD Creative Challenge, by the way. And yeah, so that's the goal.
Yeah.
We all have work to do. We have work to do.
Yeah, we do.
I got to get to work. What do I have to do? We don't know. This is just a high-end restaurant.
Right.
Fancy.
It's
fancy schmancy.
Is that what we call it?
Fancy
That's what we call it.
Fancy
That's the name of it.
schmancy. So we are working on the fancy schmancy. Here's your screen. Actually, we're live with you.
Perfect.
High-end restaurant. I'll kind of write some of this up, and we'll go forward from there. How are you two gonna like divide up the work, or?
Right. So
what do
I
you
was
think?
gonna kind of kickstart it by doing the homepage and kind of start to get a feel for the direction we want to go, while Chris is kind of watching and guiding me and telling me his ideas, and then we can switch over to him doing the mobile version, and then we'll go from
Okay,
page to page.
so you'll
like
kind
that.
of start with the desktop. You'll kind of work on the mobile version, but you two. Like it's not like one's the developer, the other's the designer. You
right.
two are both designers, kind of
Exactly.
throwing out your own ideas,
Right,
and
collaborating.
seeing where collaborating and seeing where things fall.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's super cool.
Yep.
So
Okay, fancy smancy website for a fancy schmancy.
say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, I can't even say it once.
Fancy Smith.
When I got one job, enunciate things correctly. But we could also use a name for it. But I love fancy smancy so far.
So Mark asked me what my favorite font combination is. It's hard to have a favorite, but I've been using IBM Plex a lot. It's a free font from IBM. They have sans and serif. It's a great font to mix with each other, and then maybe we'll use it here. But yeah, I'd say that's one of my favorite fonts right now for sure.
IBM Flex.
Plex, sorry.
Plex.
No,
Sorry.
it changed it for you. It's always nice when Google's smarter than you. Right?
Oh man, always.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not. I hope I'm not the only one that uses like Siri and other stuff to help me spell things.
Right.
I just-
I use
Yeah,
that
no,
I
all the
should do.
time.
Why don't
I
I
do that all the time, dude. I'm like, hey Siri, how do you spell?
Right.
All the time. I have to. You send these briefs with these wrong
Or you
words in
could
it.
do-
And you're like,
Real professional.
Or
Yeah,
like
real
do
professional.
text to speech and maybe it will just correct it for you.
yeah. Yeah,
True,
it
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It does. But I've been in a couple autocorrect accidents, and I'll tell you, it wasn't pretty.
Oh, we've all been, you know,
Autocorrect accidents. There's no recovering from
victims.
that. Yes.
So for wireframing in XD, I usually just use the square tool and kind of shape out the things I'm going to be making. So I'm starting at the home page, and I'll just title this just so I know what's going on.
I think you started a trend in chat. There's a lot of people asking for money now.
It's just called, the app's just called Send Me Money.
Send
That's all. That's all it is. You log in.
I need money.
Yeah,
pay
it's
me.
hard coded, so
Yeah.
it only goes to the developer.
Yeah.
Right.
All the money that's sent just goes to them. Good luck with that.
Like, it's in the name, sorry.
But I mean, it's
I said
okay.
send me money.
Yeah. There's a nice thank you letter at the end of it.
Yeah, we'll give you an animated GIF.
Yeah.
How about that?
All right. So I'm gonna look for some colors for the app.
Perfect.
So, Atif, you mentioned something good. Like when it comes down to consistency, so how do you communicate to ensure that the content design is consistent for web and mobile? That's something we're gonna have to check out later, because obviously we have two independent designers. They both could be coming up with ideas or executions, and we'll just kind of see where it leads at the end of the day. So this IBM Plex is interesting.
Yeah.
You can see right here, hopefully, or not.
I think the computer likes his screen. It's good design.
Zach is my design hero. Oh, so nice. Sucking up
lovely
to the
it is.
guests. No. One thing that kind of annoys me is one thing I never use is mono fonts.
Yeah.
No, neither have I.
Like it's
Yeah.
so bad,
don't-
especially if it's an italic.
It's
mono,
like typewriter font.
Yeah.
It gets
super
bad.
typewriter. Like
I
I remember.
kind of dig this eye, but the spacing right here is just
The eye
killing me.
seems
You think
kinda
so?
weird
It looks
for
like there's
that.
someone doing yoga there. That
Yeah,
eye
it's
really
very-
looks
it's
like
a
a
very
person doing yoga.
yoga.
Yeah,
If we were doing a yoga app,
yeah. That's the
Yeah,
icon we would use.
We would have to go with it.
yes, sweet. Okay, we're switching back to you.
Awesome.
So I think we should let them know we're doing a broken grid layout.
Yeah,
here,
we'll be
right?
doing a bunch of broken grid stuff. It's just kind of a style I like to do, especially with restaurant stuff.
And when you say broken grid, what do you mean?
Kind of like, so I'll show you in the next section.
Okay.
So we'll have, this will be like the location section, and there'll be 3 boxes. We'll just copy this one. And then normally you would have it aligned correctly. We're going to break it up. So that's all we mean by broken grid, really.
So the biggest thing about broken grid also that's nice is say you had a 1200 pixel grid with all of our lines that we had set up. Well, what we would do here is we wouldn't go to the end of it, because typically you would stay inside of that grid, but you're going to break out of it. Maybe you'll move something over and only have 100 pixels from the edge of the screen versus having your in web world, you would have a div, and that div would have your margins blocked in. So it's different because typically you're going to put your grid in there and then you drop everything in that div for that grid. In broken grid, when you're building a website, it's a little different. And I do a little bit of development too, so I understand broken grids are great. Having a lot of the understanding of how exactly a grid works makes you, I personally believe makes you a better designer, because
Yeah, for sure.
you really know like what. It's kind of like when I see you with Photoshop or Illustrator. When you know what you have with those tools, it works great. Like you know where things are at. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I can break this up, or I can use a pen tool and I can spin it this way, and
Yeah.
you know.
Like you're pretty keenly aware of sort of like divs and those nested divs on where things
Yeah,
land.
yeah.
Like you know what's going to take
Yeah.
to develop that.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and I recommend anybody. I recommend anybody who has used flex boxes or does development to start actually learning about CSS grids. That stuff's phenomenal. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that is good.
No more dev talk.
Bootstrap and all that.
Tim, no more dev talk.
Should
Okay.
designers code.
Yeah.
Don't.
Only if you
that's-
want to.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
Restricted
No, we can.
question.
That is the topic who must not be named.
That you could talk about.
We'll keep a Harry Potter theme today.
You could.
Yes or no, should designers code?
Yes. But here's
But then they're
the
called a
thing.
developer, so I don't like, what's the point?
So here's my sense. This is my opinion from the book of canon, but it's
Oof, from your canon.
from my canon.
Where can we buy this book?
Well
exactly?
played. Good word choice. I like that. I love it.
No, but I do think that people, if you're communicating with the developer daily, you should learn about the top of what's happening. You don't have to learn about how JavaScript works and how that person's going to do that, but I think it'll give you that capability to understand how to design better. It's helped me, and I use a lot of I developed for quite some time, and actually in a previous life, I think Zach he's done web development too. So
Back in the day.
This is so
what did
good.
you start out as? WordPress developer,
Yeah, WordPress
right?
developer is how I started 11 years ago.
So do you think it makes you a better designer, knowing the development?
Yes, it does. I think it does make you a better designer, but I don't think that every designer has to learn how to code. I think it's valuable because you're learning how things work. So when you're designing, you're being a little more realistic with the things you're doing because you know how it's going to be put together in the future.
Right.
You're not going to do like these crazy things that are going to take hours and hours and hours of coding. At the same time, it might hurt you from trying experimental things though, because you're so developer minded. I think there's a good mix.
Yeah,
That's
true.
interesting. I like
That's
that.
a
I
good
like
point.
that point that he made that you might not. So experiment nonstop. Don't
Yeah, absolutely.
always.
Because it really does. It takes that person that doesn't know the boundaries that can kind of help push things a little
Right.
further.
For sure.
Right. But I think the other thing is too, is that I think we need to stop worrying about what can't be done and worry about what can be done, and try and figure things out. Because isn't that what a designer's supposed to be? A creative, right? Someone who thinks outside the box. It's tough too because you get these cookie cutter. Like I go on to Dribble and I go on to mainly Dribble, but I've gone on Dribble and all you see is illustrations, right? And that's what a lot of tech companies are using. That's a trend.
Yeah.
But there's broken grids, and that's a trend. But I think those trends happen because people are like, hey, I want to try something new. I want to try something different.
For sure.
I don't know. Eric Sue says loves doing things that makes developers work for hours and hours. I guess if they're getting paid hourly, maybe
Right.
they really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
They're like,
But-
thank you very much.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you're doing like freelance, you got to manage the budgets for your client and
True.
stuff. So
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
are things you have to think about.
That's exactly right. And the other thing is, too, is go befriend a developer and then do that stuff to them. Yeah, they'll hate you for life.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, let's not put that on ways to annoy a developer, and you have that list. Here's all the various ways.
It could be easy.
Not
to rack
understanding
that
coding,
list up.
right?
Exactly.
Submitting things at the last minute and saying, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Is it done yet? So I know, Eric, you're cool, man. But Zach, you also have your own design firm, or
I actually don't anymore.
Okay.
As of this year,
Okay.
I left that agency. It still exists, but not with me.
okay.
I decided to go back to full freelance. So that's kind of my thing right now.
Full freelance, but basically you are your own independent agency
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
one.
Right.
But this is really good. I think I love you two, like just independent starters. You're like, I don't need to have a boss. I am currently my own boss. So everything I do matters. I'm not going to waste time. I'm not freaking chatting at the water cooler or whatever. Like I need to get paid and then I'm going to go spend time with family.
Wait, I'm
There
not
you
allowed
go.
to talk to the water cooler?
Yeah, you could talk to the water cooler.
I need someone to talk to.
Set
Yeah,
up your
maybe.
office just
Hey,
like
I'm there too. I work from home, man. I will draw faces on things and we'll carry on conversation for hours.
Have you ever been in a chat room in Slack by yourself? It sucks.
Yeah, you don't have anybody to invite to your Slack channel.
I just send myself a bunch of gifts. That's myself
Do
happy.
you at least log into someone else? I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, but I think you two have a lot of value to add because this
Yeah.
is real working knowledge of just
Yeah.
trying to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully doing work that you enjoy too, because you can also get pick what you want to do.
Mark said, how do you share design assets to a developer? Creative Cloud's a good one. There's tons of things like that. You have Dropbox, Google Drive I've used before.
you could just go straight in XD and publish your design specs
That's
right
true
here.
too. And you guys have Zeppelin as one of your partnerships, right?
Avocode,
Yeah.
Protopie, and I think I'm missing one, but sort of opening this up to third parties. So if you're at a larger agency, regardless of what you're using, we're saying, hey, we can fit within your work environment. Yeah, is the idea. But also, like you said design specs.
Yep.
We're developing design specs, like
Yeah,
more
it's still
and
in
more.
beta, but it's getting really good for sure.
Yeah,
We're, like,
I love it,
adding more
actually.
to it, so it's like.
I
you
actually
know.
just used it with a client and they loved it.
Okay, cool.
They loved it better than Vision, so
Oh, really? Wow.
yeah. So
All right, if you're just joining us, we are developing a website for a 5-star restaurant.
let's do that.
Again, that website, that web restaurant at the corner of your street, that's you probably, it's like where the food is so small but the plates are so large. That's the type of restaurant.
That's what we're going
That's
for.
how you know it's a nice
That's how you know it's
restaurant.
a good restaurant.
Is by how
You don't
little
get any
food
food.
you get. Just get more expensive. It is the smaller the portions get. It could be organic, yes.
Yeah, but it won't be gluten free. I'm sorry.
It's not going to be gluten free.
We heart gluten.
We are gluten.
We need that
heart
badge in the
gluten.
footer.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so I moved on to the menu page. So this will be like the breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, whatever they have at the restaurant.
Nice. Okay, so maybe think about ways that we can help you. And Chris, we can switch to your screen because you're
Yeah.
also, I know you've been talking, you've been kind of coaching us and everything. Are you getting inspiration? What is that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you got to get
Can I
inspiration.
switch
So
We
so
gotta
we're
show this.
actually so I like this concept here. The you know, it's interesting, this brand here.
Grass-fed salmon. Paul Alvarez said that. I'm sorry. Best comment of the day so far.
Yeah.
We have grass-fed
So
salmon.
I am a huge fan right now of the it's coming back, the borders, right? But I love the concept here
love the
behind
menu.
this. I love the menu, yeah. And that's something that I think we want to do in some of our design on the web.
Yeah.
Is within the menu to do this concept where there's a border and to also do the picture behind. I think that's phenomenal. The
I love
black
that.
and white,
I
yeah.
love that black and white with
Yeah.
that pattern border.
Yeah, I think that's caught my eye with a lot of the stuff that I'm looking at for restaurants.
Okay.
Plus, too, I want to add color. So some of the stuff we had in our shot was red, but maybe going with a lighter color with that, playing with it for kind of this concept here. We've got the lighter, orangish red, yellows, and then blues. I'm a huge fan of blues, as you can tell from my logo.
Yeah. Colors. So.
Yeah. That was puntastic.
So yeah, don't know if you're coloring with us, but there is the Daily Creative Challenge in that tab if you want to get to the designing, if you're feeling inspired.
It's always fun when you see a McDonald's redesign.
Okay, so we were talking about words. Do you ever have certain words that you have a hard time spelling? We were talking about that a second ago. Restaurant's one of those words for
restaurant.
Yeah.
I recently
I actually
got
just
restaurant
I just
down.
had
me.
to have
Did you
it.
really?
Just
High
recently.
five.
I just actually had it autocorrect me twice. So,
Really? Ah.
as I was spelling.
Hey.
So
Mere moments
This
ago.
is live. None of this is. We're good.
who learned you how to spell? I'm telling you. I got third place though. Third place in the spelling bee. Third
Did
place.
you really?
Yeah, third place.
Wow.
I'm
Out of 2 people? Just kidding.
What grade were you in?
no.
That's
it
what
was.
matters.
I don't want to talk about that.
It doesn't matter. It
It
does
was
not
a
matter.
spelling bee.
It doesn't matter. Congratulations.
Wasn't a spelling A.
As a designer, mad props.
You did good.
I'm not a copywriter.
Indubitably.
We are
hardly.
We are now
licorice,
on the internet, and I want to tell everybody I am not a copywriter.
mozzarella. I did want to point out, so I think when it comes to colors, as we're just kind of, I can't help but think about it. I just hopped on color.adobe.com and just did a search in the Explorer for restaurant just to see the different palettes that would come up, just as a reference. I could get inspired here, but these are the most popular ones. Some are better than others, like this one. I don't know what this one's all about. I would, not about it. But in general, you'll see a lot of these warm tones when it comes to restaurants, because restaurants want to convey, hey, we have fresh food, we have things that you can eat. So therefore, we're not going to pick a color that's not sort of naturally found in nature.
And there's data
Right.
behind it. There's totally data behind it.
Okay.
They're actually, people have said that red makes you more hungry. So that's
Yeah,
why a lot of
there we go.
restaurants use red.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
So
All right, yes. You can see some red behind us. Those are fireworks. That means it is time for Chat and Win.
Oh, yeah.
Our fancy tote, our designer tote, made custom for you. We added designer, commissioned a designer to make it.
This thing. Let's try to put my
Says-
phone in it. Let's
What's that? Oh, you want to put a phone in? Yeah.
let's see how well
Oh,
this works.
and it comes
Look.
with a free
Chris's
phone.
personal cell phone.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have to pay the
With
bill.
all of his
Make sure to
contacts
pay the
for
bill.
you to
Each
You gotta
month.
pay the bill,
clients.
but it comes, yes, it fits a phone. It probably fit multiple phones, all for your art supplies. I don't know, makeup, bags of maybe money. You got all
Bags of
those
money for that free app.
bills stacking up.
Pay
That's
app.
for you. All you have to do is say something in chat like, hey, what's up? I have a hard time spelling two. And then you
Fancy
spell all
schmancy.
that whole word wrong. We'll pick somebody at random. We do this for each segment. Sure, send me money. I don't know if we can send you money, but we can send you this tote that you can put money in. So we'll pull that name for you in a second, and it will appear. And yes, if you want it, that's what we want to see. We just need to make sure somebody's at the other end of that
I
fancy
am job
keyboard.
from Paul. I am job.
I am job.
Give me.
It's totes adorable. All right,
Oh, I like that
Aaron.
name.
There we go. And who is it? You go ahead.
Chris, so you're going to tell me to say
Stoltz?
Schultz? Schultz?
It's probably Stoltz.
But
I butcher everything.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Kreis Stoltz. This is for Kreis.
Keys? Keys?
He's Stoltz. Chris Stoltz. Sorry to butcher your name. I do apologize. Don't worry, you can put all the pieces in here, and we'll get this sent out to you. Compliments of the Adobe Live team. Just a token of our appreciation.
Yep.
And we'll have giveaways for each segment, and we'll also be reviewing those designs for the daily challenge as well.
So I just wanted to show design specs really quick. So like I showed a few minutes ago, you could just publish it right here, copy your link, send it to your developer, and you're greeted by this web page. It looks a lot like XD, but you can actually interact with all the elements and see the exact pixel amounts and everything like that the developer would need to make your site.
Nice.
Super helpful, and it's getting better all the time.
Yeah, we have some more things coming that I totally want to like spill the beans about. But
Oh.
I can't. You know what?
Nobody will tell. It's okay.
Friday. Okay, all 1,000 of you. No, that's pretty much everybody.
Right.
I'd say tune in Friday because we have the Adobe XD, usually some designers from that team that know
cool.
everything. That's where I'd try to get them to spill the beans.
Yeah.
But they
Well-
do sometimes say, hey, this is coming. So that's the place to get.
I may or may not be on that beta release of a XD, so there's some...
Really? Is that what's on your screen? I'm going to switch
No,
to
no,
it.
no, there's not. No, it's... Shh.
Oh wait, was I not supposed to use the beta?
Yeah.
Yeah. You, I guess we're using betas today. I guess it's one of those days. Fantastic. But no, we do have new things coming, so I always hesitate to say,
Right.
or if you ever like, that's not here, it's just not here yet, is what I like to say, to be honest with you.
So I
So
want to turn this...
we'll dive into that. And
Does anyone else like really love using shortcuts? I mean,
Once you get those shortcuts down, your life has changed
feel
forever.
like- and I feel like when it comes to Illustrator and Photoshop, you know,
Yeah.
to Paul, he's awesome at it, you know.
sorry.
So
But trust me, it's anyway. I find XD is much easier.
do you ever feel like this after
Oh,
you're
yeah.
done? You're like,
Yeah.
man, why do I?
Especially
Why do
if
my
you're
fingers feel
mouse.
crippled? Yeah.
Yeah. I do notice like, so and you're not even using a mouse. You're just, your hands are on your
No,
keyboard
I'm
and then you
just
choose
using
the
my
trackpad.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, exact same
I'm,
thing.
I'm
Right.
doing certain concepts here where obviously I love where I can drag and there's that pretty grid, but I love being able to just doing that.
I love that just the auto align, right? You see it snap to the grid.
Yeah.
You don't have to turn that on or anything. It's naturally there.
And so right now, and this is one of the things, like some people may start this in Illustrator, right, when they're doing the brand and then bringing it over, but because I'm not, I'm just taking that step and I'm building out my brand story here to kind of offer these colors to figure out what's going to be what. And then what I'll do is I'm actually going to move it over to here once I decide what colors I want.
Perfect.
So
yeah, you two can work together. Like Zach, of course, sort of like getting the wireframe squared away. And thanks to Chris's help, we'll see like assets appear in your assets panel.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll just bring that all into one happy experience. Ooh, thank you so much. Adobe Live does say you can save $400 on Adobe Max 2018.
Ooh, good deal.
Your, what do you call it? Your entry fee or your registration fee or something. Kudos to the design team at Adobe XD. We will pass along those kudos. They will be here on Friday, and quite frankly, they're just right upstairs. So yeah. All right. Yeah. What if we just all started working and didn't say anything for another 45 minutes?
Just finish it. Well, this
Because
is what we
really,
did.
like, we're live streaming. It's like kind of hard.
Isn't that
We could take, actually, not to interrupt, but what we could do, again, this is just 5-star restaurant. We're going to make a website for desktop and mobile.
Yep.
And then, you know, again, what is the name for
Yes.
this
why don't we
restaurant?
So we got one idea, fancy schmancy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can do something with
What's
that.
another thing that chat can come up with? That's
Yeah.
what I want to know.
So we're open to
I
name
love this stuff.
suggestions for this
How you spell
5-star.
schmancy?
I don't know.
Google it. Google it.
Schmancy.
Schmancy a word.
Someone do. Google's a word, and it wasn't 10 years ago. I'm just saying. You know.
All right.
If it's so we're open to get your suggestions for naming this app. Fancy.
Yeah, you have to go with both if we're going
With
to go
Z.
that route.
Yeah.
TZ. It's fancy. Thank you so much.
Are we a pizzeria now? Now that we're fancy
Oh,
pizzeria.
Shay Smants. Help us all. All right, so I'll kind of keep track of.
I love it.
I'll keep track of the names as they roll through, and we will kind of decide on one and go from there. Welcome, Jose Gonzalez. Good to have you here, my friend.
Just have to say, I love the colors you're using so far.
Yeah, you know what? In this one, though, I want to do a tannish green, which, there we go. So let's bring that back here. I really like
dig it.
this. I'm really loving this. But maybe that's too green.
Tell me, I think we need a little bit more. Sorry.
No, you're
I'm just looking to add a little bit more color to the, to this restaurant. Like where do you see, where's it located?
Right.
Where is this fancy restaurant? I'm trying to paint a picture for everybody, and maybe something will come to us. Is it like farm to table? Could be whatever we want.
farm to table. I
like
like
that.
that.
I do like that.
I like that concept. So let's think about this. What kind of food do we want there?
Yeah.
Do we want a pizzeria? Do we want?
Pizza sounds good.
Is it Italian? Is it
Italian? Is
Italian
it American?
authentic? I'm gonna murder this word. What is it? Let's see here. Let's do this. Authentic. I don't know what I say. Well, how do you say that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Here,
It's
you're
9
asking
a.m.
the
No one
It's
knows
not
what
it.
Chris is talking
I have
about.
no idea, but I
had-
like the thought of just adding random accents over words and adding A's on the end of the English
It's
words.
I know what the English word is. It's authentic.
Fanceria.
How do you say that?
Adobe Live quit it. So good. He's good. Gus is no joke, dude. Killing me. That's funny.
The classiest? We said we were gonna have no classes.
Yeah.
I didn't read the brief.
I like the Adobe Live says Fanceria, the classiest pizzeria. It's a Fanceria.
I like it.
Isn't that
Fanceria.
good?
That's great. That was great.
Authentico. And we could also just, actually what a current trend that we're seeing everywhere right now in terms of branding is obviously like taking the vowels out of a word.
Yeah.
Like STK.
It's because there's not enough domains. That's why they're doing that.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's
be
like,
more
it feels like
creative.
Jeopardy to me. But that's very good. It's like, how can I spell this differently, knowing that that name is available across all social media platforms.
Well, it'll be interesting too because we're going away from the .com era and we're doing .pizza, .restaurant.
Right.
You know, and
But-
so
Yeah.
this is completely outside of design's realm. I mean, it plays in it, but it helps the branding aspect because you do have to think about those things.
But the thing is like, everybody's still using .com. And people
Right.
will
And
fight for
In
that.
search-wise, yeah,
Search-wise.
absolutely. But
Right.
is it old? Are we thinking?
I just
I
know
think-
I'm not going to remember
Exactly. I
something
think it's just
else.
hard to kind of market your website when it's dot something.
Unless it's
I have
something
color
fancy.
with .us.
And that's fantastic. That is really cool, by the way. It is. 'Cause
So-
it stands out. I see that as a really cool trend.
Yeah. See, I'm actually doing two. I'm going to test out colors.design.
You want what?
I'm going to do another URL called colors. I can't. Wait.
Wait until
It's
you
not
get
live
it.
yet. I mean, you're
Do
going to
you
go
own
to.
Yeah.
the domain?
Yeah, I own the domain.
Okay, good, good.
Okay, somebody's
That's
gonna buy it
that was
right
my
now.
only concern.
Please, yeah,
He's
go
like,
ahead.
As soon as you say,
Actually-
"Oh, I was thinking about this," somebody just bought it up yesterday,
Yeah.
and they're doubling their price
I'm
by
okay.
selling it to you.
See, someone just put in there my portfolios that I'm going to. What is that?
Dot design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Someone said
Yeah,
Zach's
perfect.
Bistro. I dig it.
Oh!
Why does this
Yeah,
always have to
Zach.
be about you? Wait,
I didn't
oh,
choose
oh,
it.
no,
I
no, no,
didn't
no,
choose
no.
it.
Let's do the bearded one. Pizzeria.
The bearded pizza.
No, not bearded pizza. No, no. I'm actually a huge fan of authentic Italian pizza.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. We have a place in Utah called Settabello's. Shout out to them.
Oh,
'cause they
it's so good.
They make great
That's
pizza.
one of our favorite restaurants.
Settabello's.
Settabello's. So
they have a
when we
couple
when we
locations.
host you
Yeah,
in
I'm into
Utah,
it.
we're gonna go.
Okay. I'm
They
game.
make this pear jalapeno pizza. I tell you, when I say it, it sounds nasty, but it was superb. One of the best pizzas I've ever had.
Hey,
Anybody
Pizza
hungry yet?
Festivus.
Oh, I'm getting hungry now.
Anybody hungry yet?
Wait, once we get to images, then I'll really start getting hungry.
Wait, Eric's from Utah? Shout out to Utah. I
Oh.
love it. I did not know Eric was
Yeah,
from
we're
there.
both from Utah.
Yeah.
Utah in the house. All right. I do. I mean, you both have cool. Like, I like Zach, Z-A-C. Like,
Right?
I
It's
mean,
so
that's
clean.
just
It's just so clean.
super strong. It doesn't necessarily say restaurant, but it's like you are so well known as a master
As a
chef
brand, right?
that
That you are your brand.
You are your brand. Like, we could only hope. But all right. What you doing there? We're just gonna watch you.
I'm watching yours, actually. I'm looking at all these
I just want to
names
do this
there.
like
Oh, now I'm nervous.
I got my-
I can't do it.
Now
I got
I'm
my
nervous.
coffee. I just want to like watch you Nick. Show me something.
What are all those squares?
So if you are just joining us, we are designing a website, both desktop and mobile, for a fancy 5-star restaurant currently called Fancy Smancy or Zach or Fanceria. You tell us.
So we're gonna call our brand Hungry Red. Is that okay?
Ooh, yes.
Or
I love what you're doing here, by the way. We gotta
Saucy
check
Red.
this out, man.
Let's call
This
Saucy-
is new, by the way. Can you just show what you just did with naming that? 'Cause you
Yeah,
just
sure.
switched
So
your-
I'm gonna add another color here. We're gonna call this Classic Black.
Oh, I love that. Naming your colors is such a great branding thing.
yeah.
So, and I probably will grab another one. I will use this for most likely the overlay for pictures because I like that black and white. I just feel like black and white is classic. I mean, here in San Francisco, we were walking yesterday and just the decor and everything like that. This is the classic that I'm looking for.
Okay.
There. And I think a pizzeria right now, something's big about that authentic Italian concept. I think that's what we need to go with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it.
maybe we'll take the Z out of pizza and put it in the name and call it Zach's. Zach's and
I
me.
like it.
Zach's and me?
I gotta say, I like it.
Okay. Maybe we'll go with that. Krabby Patty's secret ingredients is love. Okay. Never had a Krabby Patty.
All right, and by the way, so since we're still on your screen, Chris, like, thank you so much for doing that. That's good. Because again, you're going to share this file.
What should we name this color?
Taupe, or you can call it dough.
Yeah. I was thinking
you
that,
have to do that.
Yeah,
That's great.
dough brown.
Dough brown.
Is it? But would you consider that a brown?
What color is dough?
Dough.
It's pasty.
Dough beige.
It's pasty, kind of like my skin, pasty.
Dough white.
Dough white.
Yeah.
Like snow white.
Yeah.
Dough
It
white.
would be a shade of white. Yeah.
Ooh, that's good too.
Whoa,
Sean
what?
O'Leary says Zax, Z-A-X.
Nice.
Dude, you could just there could be a slice of pizza.
But then I have to bring the black card out. Like I just feel like I'm spending quite a bit there. I mean,
It's okay. That's good. That's where we want to be.
Black card.
I really like Zax. So, and just so you know, the assets panel, you have it set to list view. By default, typically, it's going to be in thumbnail view up there at the top. I don't know if you could show people that, Chris.
say that again.
Right up at the top of your assets panel, bing.
Yep,
So that's
got
how
that
you.
there.
And that's searchable and all that stuff. So if we remember, dough, it'll pull that.
So I think it's time for us to open up Adobe Typekit, right? I mean, is that
sure.
okay?
Are you going to dabble in some fonts?
So yeah, let's do it.
I'll just switch over to Zach's screen.
Yeah, I think I got most of our pages pretty wireframed up. We got
You
our
did this pretty
card.
fast.
Right, and we got our order online, we got our about, our menu, and our home page. I think we're pretty solid for the desktop wireframes.
I've already fallen in love with the font, and it's not that pretty either, but it just
All right, we're going to check it out.
it's.
What is it? Neptus? What did I say?
Let's type in. Let's see here. How are we spelling
Z-A-X.
Zax?
Just try Z-A-X.
I don't know. I feel like.
You like it?
Can I zoom in here? Ooh, that's-
You need a X there.
Wait. See, spelling. I struggle.
That's good.
I like that your computer knows how to spell my name correctly.
So normally, yes, it does.
Open to ideas still.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Zax. That's pretty strong. Yeah, do pizzeria or something. So.
No.
I don't know. To
No.
me, I love the font. in
Pizzeria.
Zachery.
Zacheria.
Zachery.
That sounds
Sean
a lot.
O'Leary. He's our official copywriter, I think.
Is
our
he
brand
really?
Zax,
Guy.
Z-A-X. He came up with the Zax.
But
And
see,
now he's-
I'm going to bring up a good point, and this is nothing against Sean, but when you're creating brands, you really can't. You have to think about negative things too. Like, can someone turn that into Zacheria to diarrhea, and then you ruins it, right? You have to think about these things, though. You really do.
Think like a fourth grader, and this new kid
That's
just showed
it.
up at class, and you
That's
want to
it.
tease them because you're
Yeah.
just bitter.
That's
and
right.
You just don't want to
You
be
just
there.
have
You're
those
in fourth
people.
grade. You've seen 3 of these grades already.
You've
Maybe
had
4.
those people, right?
Think like a 4-year-old. So, yeah, man, you do your thing. Pick some fonts and get it going. Nice thing is you're using, thank you. Typekit, you can sync that. Try it out.
So not to
Fantasy.
switch direction on you, Chris, but do you want to get started on the mobile version?
Yeah, totally. I'm over here.
Yeah, there we go. Howard, 4th grader or a Yelp reviewer.
Right,
What are
Yelp
they going to
reviewer.
say about you on
That's
Yelp?
right.
Right.
Okay, do you want to
So-
let's have you sync this to me so I
Right.
can start looking at the flow.
Right. So something I did just to help Chris understand is using this red text to kind of title everything that I was doing, just so he has a general idea of what everything actually is. It can be kind of confusing when you did the wireframe and then he's doing a mobile version of it. So definitely good to title everything and be really direct with what everything is. And then definitely I always try to meet up. Say I'm doing a collaboration with somebody like I'm doing with Chris right now. I would always try to meet up when I'm presenting this part, just because it will work way better together when we can explain in person rather than over email or something. It can be very confusing.
And
So
we
you
can
have-
totally do that by publishing it, right? So you
Oh, yeah,
can
right. We
totally
could just do
publish
that.
it.
So should I do prototype or
Yeah,
design specs?
I don't know, Paul, prototype or
Oh,
what
you just
would
do. I would just do
suggest here?
prototype.
Okay.
But here's the thing about this, by the way. So this is where it gets interesting. because if it's on your artboard, it's not going to show up in your prototype. So where we see header, Chris isn't going to know.
Right.
that it's a header.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
So like one thought is all that red text on a separate layer on top that you can kind of toggle on and off.
Right.
At will.
Oh, that's true,
It's just like
yeah.
one
Right.
thought.
Yeah, I think we'll be good just because we're here.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
think it's
show.
perfect. So again, this is just the wireframe for this high-end restaurant / pizzeria, known currently as Zax. People really like mashing words together, I'm noticing.
Yeah.
I
for
don't
sure.
We
know.
create a trend.
Yeah.
Hashtag awesome.
Well, I think they're kind of like creating it. They're just mashing words together, and it works. Yeah, it's good.
Zach boy. I like it. We need pizza now. You know, if someone
Hooray
would just
for puns.
design me an app that would give me money, I could totally.
I know.
I
That
can
would be
get
our
pizza
next
right.
project. All right. Oh, Anel says she mentions Grimaldi's in Brooklyn would be a good example of a pizza restaurant. But I think she brings up a good point on like, who is your competition? Like, what is your competition doing? Are we getting inspiration from other places?
Yes.
How can we like stand out
Yeah.
and stuff? And that's something that's just fun to look at.
Well, the one thing too that we wanted to really showcase on here is ordering, because I don't know if anybody's ever ordered from Domino's or for any of the other ones. Their process is like, there's a long process, and as a UX designer, I cringe sometimes because an app for trying to go through for a shopping experience, it's hard. So
Yeah.
that's one thing we want to showcase here is
Yeah.
how do we make it better?
Yeah.
sure.
So looking at our competitors, that's right.
That would be really good. And yeah, like you said, that sort of like if there's an ordering component in the on the website. Is that
Yeah.
what you're thinking?
Yeah.
I do have to. I think in terms of that sort of thing, yeah. We can look at companies that do it right, maybe some that do it wrong, who knows?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
'Cause
We don't want to
people-
put anybody down, but we do also want to say, hey, we need better.
Yeah. And we do need to know what people are used to. So people might be using Uber Eats or Grubhub. I'm just thinking of what do people already know, and then how can we make it better? By the way, I'm sorry to talk about this because I feel like I'm an advertisement for Phil's Coffee. I think I talk about Phil's like so much because I only have it here in San Francisco. Their mobile app for ordering these is awesome.
Phenomenal.
You know what they do? Have you seen this for now?
Do you have it? Is it a
Yeah,
web app
I'll
or
pull
is
it
it a
up.
mobile app?
It's a mobile app. I'll plug it in and show you.
I want to see
Yeah.
this. I want to
haven't
see
seen it
what we
either.
can learn from it. See, isn't that interesting? You're not even talking. It's a food base, but you're not even talking about ordering pizza. And
Yeah.
that's another cool thing is you should always reach out to see if someone's doing it better in a whole nother industry.
Is this GoPro working?
Yep.
Oh,
I'll set it up after.
cool.
Dude, I like
And I
this
think this is also a trend that
for
I want to get
header font.
Chris and Zach's.
Can we switch over to his fonts real quick?
Certainly.
Does this? I mean, I think two of them here. I really like
cool.
this as a
I do
my
really like that.
title fonts.
Yes.
And then I want a lighter font because I always want, like I said, I like both sides of the spectrum to play with when it comes to branding. And then maybe even look down here and say, oh, this might be nice too if you're doing large fonts. So
Yeah, I love this font.
Okay.
I think
so I'm gonna sync here.
something about it just makes it fit with the
Paralucent.
restaurant to me.
And then we have
then
this one in
sans.
here, right? Let's
Can
see
always
if
play
it.
with.
Let's see if it works here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
You should be able
That's
to type in.
kinda-
You could type in Zach's Pizzeria up at the top if you wanted to, couldn't you?
yes. Well,
just
we're-
because I want to see the X. That's all I was. I think that's the only one I'm missing.
Well, what I'm actually working on is body text. So
Okay.
what we're doing on the body, because I want to make sure that matches with our with our previous one here. Let me see if I can pull that up.
And that's a good point. And on that note, that's a very good point. The difference between, say, body text and header text.
Yeah. Yes, if you're, this is the part that I talk about with being a designer should be a developer, because you need to understand what your titles are going to be, your H1 all the way to H6, right? If you don't know how to speak that language, if I didn't know how to speak that language, I think my branding would be terrible. I honestly feel that way. And some people may disagree with me, but I have gone the opposite direction, learned about development and stuff like that, and it has actually helped me to learn about colors, the way they work, because I can figure things out and understand, oh, this is how I want my project set up, and this is what I want it the way it is.
Yeah.
So,
No, that is good. And let's keep in mind, since it is for the web, are we going to force them to download a Typekit font? Is it close enough to maybe already, who knows, even a system font or something else like that?
oh yes,
I'm just kinda
our
curious.
alter, right? Our
And
alternate.
even if you're dealing with a mobile app, I think people make this mistake. You have to license that font if you're making a mobile app, so you can actually embed it and use
Yeah.
it. So there's
Yeah.
there's licensing restrictions to
Right.
these.
Yeah.
There's also a fun thing that you can do. If there are certain things, you still have to license the font, but if you're trying to get certain things, SVGs have changed the game on the web. So you can export something as an SVG and then put that on there, and it shrinks the way you want it. Now, it's not a font,
Yeah,
but you can
okay.
always use that too as I like to call that a canon hack.
Ah, I like it.
Canon.
Some people will
Part of
disagree
the-
with me, but
Are you trying to get something like trademarked? You gonna try to start a trend?
can't use hashtag anymore because Twitter took it. So
Man, I like it. I like things being part of your canon. I just love it. I just love it. Like, I want you to have a little Bible, a little canon.
I didn't even know this
Chris's
was a thing.
canon.
canonize by
Canonize
canon.
that. So I also think it's interesting. So even if you can go back to the previous page in Typekit, this is just an FYI. Right over to the right underneath recommended, there's paragraph and then there's header. So you can click on paragraph, for instance, or something like that. But typically the paragraph fonts aren't going to be as decorative because you're just meant to just read the text.
That's correct,
So
yeah.
usually I feel like they are, cleaner. And you did a good job because like you're picking a font that had a lot of variety to it.
Yes. Well,
know?
the other thing is too is I don't think that a sans serif font is very good for body text. I really
Okay,
don't.
why?
Like
Yeah. Okay.
because of the way that the current churning is on it. It's there tends to be because let's take this, right? This is the one that I chose. Okay. Let's look at some of the concepts. Look at the way that the E is, it's a little fatter. And then you have the W and the I. Look at the spacing between the W and the I,
it's
right?
tight.
Bad for your eyes,
So it's
right?
super tight for your eyes, and that's the thing you need to look at for that is to find out. But this may be a good header text where you're using 5 words, 10 words max, right? To really do that, and so that's why I would probably look at you would never write in script for any of that,
Yeah.
but you could do a Instagram post with something like this that you're saying. Oh goodness gracious! I love
Yeah.
the beach,
Yeah.
But I think I love sans fonts. I really do. Sans fonts are very clean. They're very geometric, and you can use those to.
Yeah, I agree. I think serif fonts. Yeah. I think they feel like a little bit more dated, and honestly, it's technically more data you're dealing with. Just don't.
But that's okay. Yeah.
But you like sans serif, right? No serif.
No
What do you like? Is that
I like
correct?
no serif.
Just making sure on the same.
Yes, yes.
I'm sure you weren't sans serif. I was making
No,
sure.
no. I was talking about sans. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's confusing. No, you're perfect. We're on like the same page. Yeah, so here we go. And you can see, thank you so much for Victor's like, get back on track. Are we going to
I'm sorry.
be talking about, no, it's perfect because we need fonts. We need to pick those.
For sure.
We'll talk about the UI was the purpose here for the prototypes. So we will be working out any sort of kinks as we mock this up. Right now we have the wireframes. I know you can't quite read that text, but this prototype is a prototype for a restaurant website. And can you see that? Can we kind of zoom in on, like, even on this first page so everybody can see this a little clearer?
Yeah.
So you have the header, just kind of down the line. Header,
We got our main slider image
Yep.
here. Got our
Menu
menu
preview,
preview, so
so
kind
like-
of showing their highlighted foods. Their locations will be in here.
And no color.
yeah.
No color.
Good job.
That's something we had a conversation about. Don't add color to your wireframes.
Right.
Just think through the process, get your stuff out
Think of the
there,
layout more than
and
anything.
then move forward.
Reviews.
So this is gonna be like a reviews slider or horizontal scroll, whatever. So these are kind of in the background, and when you hit the next button, it'll bring it up. Then we just got a simple little footer. You know, maybe this will be a logo. These will be some links, stuff like that.
Did I see repeat grid there?
You did.
Yeah.
I used repeat grid quite a few times actually. So like right here, I just made a square and did the repeat grid.
Do you mind? Do you mind just? I hate to have you do this, but can you like break that apart and just make it from scratch, if you will?
No problem. It'll take about 5 seconds. So to make a square, I always hold Shift so it stays as a perfect square. And then I'll just run over to the repeat grid tool. And just like that, we have a bunch of them. And then if you hover right here, you can mess with the spacing. And since it's a wireframe, you don't really want to sit there too long messing with that. Just kind of get the idea of the layout done. But yeah, super easy. That's why I love doing wireframes in XD. It's just so fast and easy. And then I already have... The reason I really like doing wireframes in XD versus, say, on paper like a lot of people do, is you already have it in your XD file now. So you can just literally start building this, drop an image into here, and just start building way faster than you would if you had to draw it and then make it in XD. So
yeah,
I just like doing it in XD natively.
That is good. So what I'm gonna do is we're actually sharing a folder. We'll check to make sure everybody got invites, but I just want to try to grab some images for both you guys, so you don't have to hunt around too much. But feel free to hunt around. We're not quite there yet in terms of that far down the road.
Yeah, you know what? I'd actually love a image if you have one.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
And so again, we're kind of working on the workflow. We also mentioned sort of like ordering online, and now that we have this set up, I was going to show you Phil's, because I want them to give me free coffee. I mentioned them enough.
Oh, yes.
So first of all, it remembers my last state. How was your last visit? Oh, it was fantastic. Awesome. Fine. That's good. But it remembers my last order. I'm just going to go into menu. This is what I like. I can go in here and get the Philharmonic. And I love this menu right here. It says in
natural language.
Form.
That's natural language. That's a natural language form. That's impressive.
Exactly. It's like as if I was actually at the counter. I'll have a large with, medium soy milk, and let's go with light sugar. Just
I
like
love
that.
the fade on that.
And look at this, just the language here. I think the copyright is awesome. Okay,
I'll
take it. Boom. Perfect.
Oh, and did you see that? Did you see how instead of actually popping up and doing an overlay, it was simple and it did it in the button.
It did do it in the button.
So giving that natural, I think everything should be humanized, right? Like it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, what just happened there? I just saw this animation and that was awesome.
Exactly.
Sorry, I get giddy for animation. I really do.
And
will you do me a favor and put in your password so we all know it?
Okay. then you got to get my phone. So good luck with that. So and again, pick it up 10:15. You get the idea. Order and pay, and then it actually even tells you who is making your coffee as well.
Oh,
it says Christine is now preparing
pictures too.
That's awesome.
Picture. I go in there. I swear it was her. I go right to the counter. I was like, hey, how's it going? I'm here.
And you don't feel like there is technology in front of your.
And I think it
smart.
ties in with their brands, because their brand is very much just not pretentious at all. They're not trying to be the hipster coffee shop. It's like, we just do pour over coffee and it's going to be delicious.
Right.
So
we apologize. We apologize for any hipsters that felt that was inappropriate.
Hey, I want to be a hipster. I just can't grow. I can't grow an awesome beard like this. So look at this. Ooh, I love it. I can't grow the beard.
I would agree. I feel like out of the male designers, like if you can grow a beard, you're a better designer.
But what's cool is as Zach gets into it, as he really gets into the design, you'll start to actually see it grow. It's like his powers are coming from, he's like Samson. I don't know, something. It's crazy.
It's because he's been here for over how many months?
We also haven't let him go. When was the last, when was it?
It was like 2-3 months ago now.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, that's a good
I've been here for a while.
3-month beard.
Order button, right?
You should have seen when he was here first, fresh-faced, clean, just smelled good. No, I'm just joking. Oh, this guy.
You can switch over to Chris's screen.
Oh,
He's starting on the mobile stuff. So I'll just kind of explain what I'm doing just so he knows. So this part, Chris, you asked me if it was an order button. It's kind of like a content box on top of, say, the main image.
Okay.
So in here will be, say, some promo text, a title, and then the order button. Basically, a call to action box
Okay,
is what it
Cool.
is.
Okay. Do we want that on mobile? And this is the conversation we're having here, right?
I think it's pretty vital. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
But we could definitely mess with the sizing of it a lot more on mobile. Like maybe this is a lot bigger or something, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here.
I think you're doing some cool things that are like super intuitive from a design standpoint, because you wanna have consistency as well as variety.
Right.
So you have a consistent grid, and then you break out of that by having this box over the top of it.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta keep. You want your brain, the
You wanna
person's
bring-
brain, to feel comfortable,
Right.
and then have that a little bit of
That personality.
let me be interesting.
Right.
You know, it's like a song. If all it was a solid beat, you wouldn't like it. But the
Exactly.
variety is what makes it interesting. But yet you're comfortable with the beat of the grid. Dot, 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 dot,
Yeah, it
dot.
doesn't take it too far.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
Zach, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you probably. I just switched back to your screen. Like as you work, and Chris yourself as well. You know what works. You know it. If a client came to you today, you would know exactly what to do for them, probably, right?
Yeah.
You're like, you know what, I don't know, tricks in
Right.
your canon for you, Chris. That
The
works.
Canon Bible.
Right? Look at that. Oh wow.
That'll be the
There's
last time anyone
guns
ever
in the-
sees
in
that.
the
So out of the 3 days.
Was
we're
that a
here.
canon? Was that what you just showed us? Was a canon?
That was me not going to the gym for a year.
Ah.
Don't tell my wife. No.
Oh. Kevin Snyder's wondering, asking about your workflow tips for approaching information architecture.
Ooh.
That is
You're throwing out like
That's a deep
multi-syllable
question.
word.
Right.
That's a
There's
deep
like-
question.
There's
It's
like
let's
big
see
words in that sentence.
how smart you really are.
I know, he's like, let's talk information architecture.
But in what way though? Like, are we talking
So
about?
maybe like how you're organizing the information on the page, right? That's a simple version of it.
Oh, okay.
I think it just kind of becomes second nature, and you've done it so many times, and you don't really even think about it anymore because you just know.
Here's a fun
But-
fact. Let's make everybody in chat feel upset about this too.
Okay.
Do we focus on above the fold and below the fold anymore? Does it really matter? I'm curious to know what feedback on that is. No, because as a
I feel like it used to be a big deal, and
Right.
now we don't talk about it anymore.
well,
Right.
so
As
so
much.
marketers ask you that all the time.
okay.
What are you doing above the fold? And I have had clients ask me, and I tell them very clearly that doesn't exist anymore. It really doesn't, because the question is how many call to actions do you have to a person when they first get to your website?
I think, yeah. Although I do think, I think people are totally aware of how to scroll a web page. But I think what it does show is like if it's above the fold, basically you're saying as a company, this is our priorities at the top.
Right.
You know, or you could be like Kevin, who's like between the fold. I don't know what that is.
Between.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that means.
It is.
But it all changes when you get to mobile too. You know.
It does, and that's what I'm saying is that, and mobile, we have to think about it. You've gone from, and I'm going to put my phone up here. You've gone from this, or to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right? We have this to this, because that's what our screen is when we look at it on a desktop, and then now it's to this point. Because how often do you go like this when you're looking at a website?
Like never. Only on accident.
And now your fold has
Right.
gone down. Granted, I mean, the fold is bigger on your desktop, but it's changed.
Yeah.
So it's something that I think we have to really think about. And how many devices are there? There's so many. I'm going to actually do a 20 grid
Okay, yeah.
on this. So.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm gonna get images. Good thing we're all working together. Pull in some images. I'm gonna find some.
The only reason why I asked that was because I know you have mad Photoshop skills from the Book of Paul.
The
and illustrate.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I was kind of have this. I think last time we talked about that, like, I don't know if mad. Do people say mad anymore?
Listen,
Mad skills.
Matt.
And when I say skills,
it's
I mean
coming
skills
back.
with a Z.
It's coming back. Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
that like a brand?
Just
Mad
like
skills.
mad. If I say mad cool, like I don't know. I'm older, so I gotta check in with.
I'm older too.
Yeah.
How old do you think I am? Welcome
I-
to Guess Chris's Age.
I want to say. Well, I don't know. I think you're probably older than you let on, so I'm gonna guess high.
You know, if somebody
40.
asked that, that's why.
Ooh. Now I'm hurt. I
Huh?
thought we were better friends than that.
Oh, 28.
33.
33. Sorry, I know you're married, and I knew
I got
you were
kids,
gonna-
yeah.
I shot high. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You're like I'm.
I don't care.
33.
It doesn't bother me.
How many children do you have? Do you mind?
I have two.
2 kids.
I have a beautiful son.
Zach, what
and
about you?
daughter.
I have one child,
One child.
6
Okay.
months old.
Yes.
Oh, 6 months. Wow, and you've only seen them for 2 of those months since we've kept you here.
Yeah.
No
I
comment.
assume I still have a child anyway.
Sorry to offend you there, Chris. I look at you two guys like, and Zach, I don't even know how old you are, but like I know that you have experience, so I
Right.
guess high. You've seen things happen. You've seen browser wars, for instance, right? We're like, hey, remember when we don't even talk about that above the fold.
That's
below?
so true.
We don't talk about, hey, how's it look at Netscape? You know, we don't do that.
What is that? No,
Yeah.
what is it?
Oh,
Well, let's think
For
about
all
the-
you
all
young
the
kids,
slang terms.
Netscape, it started the internet.
Yeah.
It started it.
basically.
did.
So,
Anyway.
okay, so I've got my title here. We've got food imagery.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have met squares, right?
Yeah.
Jan Eric's hilarious. That's funny. Tim says, you look very experienced, Paul, which is probably just another way to say
What does that
you-
mean?
Yeah.
just another way of saying you look old. Paul, you look very experienced. What? No, I got a full night's sleep. I feel fine.
I got a full night's sleep. That's right. And you've had caffeine. This
I hate it when people are like, you all right? You doing all right? You're like, are you sick? All right, I got fine.
Hey, there's
I had a
been
big breakfast. I'm good. I had 8 hours of sleep.
There's been a couple times I've been in chat and I'm like, hey, Paul, you get some coffee this morning? You good?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I got
We're
your
just
bills?
caring for your well-being. That's it.
too kind for you. And just a time check, 17 minutes until the challenge
That's
submission
why my
deadline.
thing's off.
We will be reviewing just the entries for the XD Creative Challenge. You can check that out in the Challenge tab. All right. Let's do this.
It's looking good.
Yes.
Hey, no talking.
No
Oh, yeah.
kidding. I
45 minutes of
apologize.
silence.
I apologize.
We're just dead quiet for the next 45 minutes.
Hey, should we leave Zach here and go get some pizza?
Yeah, I'm getting kind of hungry.
Let's go.
Well, we can order it. We want to like really follow it to its end
Yeah.
by trying
Yeah.
out. We're doing research, but we would never leave you here, by the way. All right.
So the last update, they came out with the ability to drag and drop a picture from the internet straight into Adobe XD.
I love that.
Saved my life.
I've always loved how
It has
XD manages
saved my
dropping
life.
pictures in.
Yes, that's a good point. Like, I don't know if you could mention that, like, or I guess I don't know if you have an image,
I don't.
or if you could
I can just
expand
show
on
real
that.
quickly.
Yeah.
So in general, like what Chris is talking about,
doc.adobe.com.
I'm gonna feed you like a lot of images here in a second. By the way.
Ooh. I love the word. I love that you use the word feed.
Yeah.
Anybody hungry yet? Anybody?
Pretty hungry.
I'm getting there. Well, as we get into designing this, if you get hungry, then we're doing our job. Oh, and thank you so much, Chris, our proud winner of the design tool. What does he put in there? Bunch of knowledge, because he is saying save the file. No save as.
No.
I don't know, that's what he's
Is
mentioning,
it?
but
Is
all I
it
know.
question mark? So.
We just did the
so,
save as.
So no. I think he's talking about when we drag and drop pictures. So I'll right click and then save as.
Okay, yeah.
Now, if I'm on a Mac,
So you can actually drag the image without
yeah,
saving
you
it.
can't. So here, let me do this really quick. Let me grab pizza. Did I spell that right? I spelled
Yes,
that right.
so it's right.
Yeah. See?
I'm liking that one.
Really?
You can do a number of things. Like, what do you want to do? What were you gonna? Yeah, you can do anything you want.
see.
Try to just do
It's not like we have to
do
really
a drag
use it.
and drop
Can we do?
directly.
Okay, so I'm
If you
just gonna
split the
take
screen.
this. Oh, what?
I don't because that's
Oh,
in
you know
full
what?
screen.
That's
I don't
true
think it's gonna
too.
work.
That's true. So
Not a
yes,
full screen.
save image to.
You could do that.
You could do this, yes. So we're gonna use this. We're gonna put it on my desktop, okay? And then we're gonna take this, and I should be able to do this.
I think you have to get a full screen
I swear.
in
it worked.
XD.
Yeah.
All right, ready? No, it's not even letting the picture in.
Hmm.
Oh, I know why.
Is it?
It's a repeat grid. I already created the grid, and so that's why it's doing that.
Hmm.
So watch this.
But you should be able to.
Did I
Did you
break
use the
it?
square tool for all
Yeah,
those?
I did.
Okay. That's weird.
It's very weird.
Wonder if it'll work for me.
It won't even let me bring it in.
Here, if you don't mind, I'll just switch over
Yeah.
since I have the split. So 5-star restaurant, we have XD on one side. I just did a quick search for pizza. So we can grab any one of these, like directly from really any website. It doesn't even have to be from stock. But as soon as I drag it in, I can see that it's highlighted there. And then we can drop it. And this is what Chris was talking about, because if I double click now,
Yes.
it used to just fill it.
Right.
It was fill
Yeah.
proportionately, basically. But now you can say, oh no, let me shift this over so the pizza is in full view and expand that up. So it's basically masking this shape.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's kind of.
Yeah, that's weird. It
Kinda
worked
cool.
for me too.
I just think it's because you were in full screen mode. That's all. Like that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
all. All right, switching over to you, Zach.
At which section are you at?
I am getting to this part.
Cool.
Nope. I figured it out. I got
What
it.
was the problem?
Um,
Just didn't like those ones for some reason.
I don't know. They work now. Works just fine. Look at this. Swipe over. Boom.
There we go. Yeah.
So you don't have to be in split.
Oh, nice. Did you do a copy and paste? Sorry. Oh, you just dragged it. So what-
Now,
what would-
you have to kind of. There's a trick doing here. You swipe while dragging it on your Mac. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So you're getting to the location section next.
and that's correct. Yep. Okay, so
So how do we approach this one on mobile though?
so what we can do is we can offset it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we can
Yeah, I like
offset it. So what I like to do is imagine if this was turned this way,
Right.
right? So,
So then I see exactly what you mean. Yeah.
yep. So what we'll do is
dig
we're
it.
gonna do some trickery here.
Yeah.
What's that awesome GIF with Shia LaBeouf? Magic.
Do you want to switch to his screen so we can?
Yes.
So
There
what
you
I'm
are.
gonna do? What's your pixels on that size?
On this?
Go click there 400. So I'm actually going to change that to.
Hey, Jean Gustave, waiting on responsive design. Yes. Not to worry, man. Not to worry. Yep. It is coming, so it's going to be awesome. In fact, see if you could hit up the guys on Friday and see if they could demo it.
Yeah. Actually, the lead designer for XD tweeted it out a couple weeks ago. He
Okay,
he
good.
tweeted
Did
a video
actually.
of the beta doing that.
Yeah, so we're actually not allowed to show it, but you can reference tweets if
Right.
it's from like Andrew
Yeah.
Shorten or something. That's probably who did it.
It was
So yes,
Hoyle,
it is
actually, right?
out
I
there.
think Hoyle made it, but he
Okay.
tweeted it out.
Okay.
I don't know how long.
All
ago it
right,
was.
so let's talk about reviews, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
the
so in
review section.
reviews, we have a review horizontal scroll, right? So when we say horizontal scroll, does that mean I'm going to get to that point and then I'm going to
locks,
scroll
and then you
down
scroll right.
and scroll right? So
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to your ideas on it. It could always just be just a button to switch through.
well, mobile-wise,
Right.
I'm okay with desktop, but mobile-wise,
Mobile-wise, I think it'll be smarter to just do the buttons.
okay,
Just because it can be very confusing and they'll kind of get stuck there and wouldn't know where to go.
right.
For sure. Buttons.
Let's
That's the
see
way to
here.
go.
What's our dimensions on this? So we're at a 9.
I think this one we could.
Let's change this to 960 so we're on a grid level. So 960 and do all of them at 960. And then what we'll do is, oh, you've got you actually have these degrid. You actually have them smaller.
Right.
So, but that.
But it still looks good.
Yeah, that should work.
I
So
mean, it's
let's
just
keep it at
the
960
wireframe,
because
so
then
we
that
can mess
locks
with
in
it
at that
later,
grid
too.
size. Because 960 is divisible of 12. So,
Yeah. I like it.
all right.
I'm going to switch over real fast. I found the tweet, by the way, from Andrew
Oh, yeah,
Shorten.
perfect.
So this is what everybody's kind of roughly talking about. So Andrew Shorten is product manager on XD. In fact, I think he's the principal product manager. But you can see what's happening here. See how he expands this artboard out? Everything stays centered. This is centered. This is going to be sort of pinned to the right-hand side. This is pinned to the left. Everything works. There's no magic.
killer.
The thing about this, there's no magic like behind the scenes. He didn't have to set all this stuff up. Like, make sure this is centered, blah, 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 blah.
He just
It's
did it.
basically just guessing that since you put this in the center, you probably want this to stay in the center. It's really cool.
Right.
And that, again, that's what he says in an upcoming release. Who knows when? We can't say it's the next one or anything, but in an upcoming release.
Right, so where are we now on this?
Logo.
Oh, we're already done with the
Oh,
footer.
Kevin Schneider's coming in hot. Do you always work so slow? Oh, zap. Ooh, jeez. Ouch.
Hey,
He's like,
I
entertain
finished
me.
mine a while ago, actually.
He's like, entertain me. Make this happen. All right, so, and
All
by the
time.
way,
I design at the speed of light.
Chris
just finished up the
gets
whole
paid
page
by
for
the
mobile.
hour. Zach gets paid per project.
Right.
Just joking. I'm just kidding.
I got a lot of bills. Okay, guys. I got a
Muth
lot
Pandi,
of
welcome. I have not seen your name. I want to give you a little cheers. Welcome. Responsive features not available, but they say in an upcoming release. So, and yes, like Howard says, good design takes time.
Exactly.
You're like fine wine over there, Chris.
But we're also talking through the process here,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
kind
yeah,
of
if you wanted
here.
us just to knock out awesome design, we could freaking
could
bury
be
our
done
heads
already.
and make things happen.
Yep.
And it will get ugly. It would get ugly. We probably wouldn't talk. We'd probably yell at each other. No, we won't. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna share.
You ready to
this.
start the menu page?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, let's switch over to his so they can see the mobile.
How many do we have for? We have 5, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 5 pages.
Okay, so here's where we're gonna start. Naming. Okay.
I'm inviting you to some a Creative Cloud library. I don't know if you'll get the notice or not. Oh, there you go.
Are we adding? Did you do the
Folder?
The order form,
Yeah,
order process?
I did just a little mini version.
Perfect. I did just get that.
All right, so yeah, so I'm gonna just switch to you, Zach. Or I don't mean to interrupt,
No, you're fine.
but basically go to what just happened in there for Creative Cloud right up there at the top.
Yeah.
The notification right up there. Boop.
I guess you'll have to send a new one.
Yeah, that's cool. So he just accepted an invite for Creative Cloud library. But we're also sharing Creative Cloud files folder. So in files, go to open folder. And that is the folder called XD right down there. If you click on that, this is currently the folder that we have set up that we can all share assets with. So,
Awesome.
you know, Chris, I'll start dumping images in there. We're gonna make sure that his is, boom. Okay,
Boom.
cool. So in that
Now I
images
have
folder,
access.
I'm gonna just start dumping lots of photos for you.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
All right. Currently, we're on your screen, Chris.
Perfect.
Just so everybody knows. I gotta get down to making this happen.
All right, so let's see here.
So menu.
So we got menu. We've got, what's the next one? I'm just trying to map out, make sure.
Oh,
I
the
got
next
all-
page.
Yeah,
The about page for the company.
perfect.
What you could. Okay. Another thought here, guys.
Yeah.
Is if you save this to that folder, he could open up the XD
Oh, that's
file.
true. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, work harder, not smarter.
Oh.
Creative Cloud.
And then, hold on, cancel.
Oops.
Put it in the XD folder because that's the specific one we shared.
Right.
So expand that out. Yeah.
I love the name,
Perfect,
by the
right
way.
there. Save.
I love the name.
XD
Yeah.
or Zax.
Zax.
Oh.
I love that. I love that name too. No. Don't.
We could do Zax D.
Or
Zax,
what if
I
you
don't
did ZAZZ? Zax.
Zaz.
Two pieces, two Z's. Pizza that doesn't make you go to sleep. Pizza. Man, I've had
We're
a
still
couple.
working on it. We're still working on it.
We have
Zaz.
colors. We have colors.
Zaz is where you have
be able to open
tweens
it
go
now.
to pick up earrings.
Okay.
That's where Zaz has
Seriously.
all the earrings. So, like, that's where you get like
Ooh, I
20
like
earrings for
it.
$5. At Zaz. Give your wardrobe a pizzazz at Zaz. Sorry, that's why I'm sorry. Like, it's like Claire's. Anyway. All right, Muth Pandey wants to know the next update, the feature, and the date.
Whoa,
Okay.
whoa. That's
No,
a
I
lot.
All
can't.
the
We
details.
don't
That
know.
is
We
quite a
can't
bit
say
of
that.
So I'm actually going to go in here and I'm going to take his file and change a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because what I like to actually do is I like to have everything tied to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So normally what I would do is I'd actually be putting these. Yeah, it looks like it didn't. Am I okay to erase these?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect.
Sweet. Oh, Jose, you have an interview at Apple Corporate tomorrow. Oh, best
good
of
luck.
luck to you, my friend.
Yes.
We're kind of stuck here at 601 Townsend, yeah. So you could stop by if you want, I guess. Jose, say hello.
Yeah.
Let us know how it goes for sure. You could just hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at Paul Tranny on Twitter. Let's talk. Ultimately, what I'd love to have for a studio is to have the live studio like kind of open to the public, to where
Yeah.
the lobby, like people can kind of stop in and kind of watch if they want.
That would be awesome.
Right?
So
That'd be
in-
really awesome.
In Utah, the KSL, they actually have where there's a glass and you can stand outside while they're doing
For the news
What's
show.
a KSL?
KSL.com. It's,
People
it's
don't know
just
what
the
that is
news
outside of
channel.
Utah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
the news channel.
Channel
Oh.
news, the news channel.
What's a KSL?
Yeah, what's a
What's a KSL? I don't know. I've never received that file
Utah,
type.
yeah.
Is it a graphic file type? I don't.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I always thought you said Kessel.
Kessel.
That's how you pronounce it.
That's
Come on.
Send me
man.
the Kessel.
no.
Like GIF or GIF. Anyway.
That is not an
nice.
argument we will start today.
Yeah. No.
Team gift.
Yeah.
Jose, fresh
Jiffy.
soul.
I like Jiffy.
Jose, I hope in 2 days you're like, hey, guess what? Boom, nailed it. That's what I want to hear from you. Nailed the job.
Yeah, seriously.
That's right. We expect feedback. Or
Hey, from
Yeah.
my
We
experience,
want
Yeah.
an update.
I want an
knowing
update.
people at Apple, just getting the interview is a big thing with
Yeah.
Apple. That's
Good
Yeah.
job.
awesome.
Good job.
Mad props. All right, this whole time I saved one image to that folder. I've been
He's like, I'm
trying
gonna drop
to
so
do
many
that.
pictures to you guys.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna totally help you out. Like, it's taking me forever, but I'm on a roll now.
There we go.
Getting some fun high-end images. So what do you guys listen to when you're working?
I usually listen to hip hop stuff.
Upbeat stuff.
Yeah.
So I love every genre, I guess the best way to say it, but it's just whatever I'm feeling that day.
So upbeat, and then Zach, you do more like hip-hop.
Yeah. Most of the time, it just feels motivating. I
Who's
guess.
your favorite, like, artist right now?
I thought you
with-
said you liked Enya. I mean, you're not all for
like
Enya
Enya.
anymore?
I am all for NF. NF
Oh,
is
NF. Yeah, I like
great.
NF. Yep.
I think I even said that on the last stream.
Oh,
So nothing has changed. Because I've been in
Still-
this room the whole time.
still listening to NF. 90s early trance. We have Viking metal. Don't know what that is, but that's
Actually,
some hardcore
I know some Viking
stuff.
metal. It's great. It's really great.
Wow, I want to listen to that because that just sounds awesome. Like if just before like a
Can't
workout,
not be awesome, right?
you just downed a Red Bull and you're just gonna go
Seriously.
bang your head against the wall for a bit. That's your workout.
There we go.
All right, yeah. We were listening to Nothing Cool earlier. We were in
Actually,
the 80s.
Phil Collins is very
Yeah,
cool.
we did some In the Air
What
tonight.
was that? Do. That's actually it. Right after that last beat. That's when we started.
That's when we started. It was like timing was right on. Eric Sue also likes NF.
Okay, so
very
I'm gonna
awesome.
actually go in here.
Jose Gonzalez? I like Jose
Right
Gonzalez.
click.
Right? He's really good. We got a nod from Adobe Live.
So I'm gonna
Specifically
Command
Gus.
K it right now. Ready?
All right, we are winding down, you two, just so you know. We're gonna
I know.
not right now, but we will be.
Is the challenge submission deadline? I mean, are we,
Yeah, that clock down there
Yeah.
reads 0.
I've been watching that the whole time. So.
Okay, so this should be correct. Actually, we got plenty. We have plenty of time. We don't even need to go into this right now, do we, Gus? Do we need to dive into the Adobe Live contest now?
Yeah, if you want.
I mean, do I just have?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So you can look at it if you want.
just making. Okay, cool. Making sure I have the right one is all. So, thank you, sir. All chill hop sounds the same to me. Hey, I like chill hop.
Chill, huh?
I'll tell you
I
what.
like
If you,
the
do you
name.
guys use Spotify?
All the time.
No.
Do Spotify what's the weekly like recommendations?
Right. Do you like it?
Yeah. Well, yes. I think you have to refine it some.
Right.
But that's how it's Discover Weekly. It's
Yeah,
been
I always hear
awesome.
good things about it. I haven't used
Yeah.
it myself.
Yeah, and the thing is that you can sort of downvote songs and upvote songs, if
Okay.
you will. You can
Really?
give one a heart
Yeah.
and sort of say, "I never want to hear this band again."
Right.
Sometimes it's like that. As soon as the band comes out, like
This is
it'd be
trash.
too soon if I ever heard this again.
Right.
So anyway,
Awesome.
all right. So while you guys are working, I guess we'll review this challenge submission.
Yeah, for sure. Let's check it out.
All right. I'm going to dive into this challenge submission. I think right now. Here we are. Again, this is the Daily XD Challenge. Congratulations to Ash. Ash J. Yeah. Again, it'd be funny if we actually saw somebody walking down the street that was like white on gray.
Yeah.
Like, what if Ash really looks like that?
That's really how he
Okay,
looks.
Dumb joke. But
It's
anyway,
a great portrait.
Daily XD Challenge, and if I review that, you would see that it actually is for making a mobile app to send money.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
So XD Challenge. Oh, this is kind of fun. This works though as well. Looks like this is all kind of centered around pizza. What do you love about pizza? Everything that it exists as a food group. Pizza is its own food group. So,
I like
what
the
do you love about
icons.
pizza?
I like the icons.
I'm starting to see a face in the pizza, and I think
Right.
that's a great idea for a logo.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be kind of fun?
Absolutely.
Onion, I'm not sure what that is, but I like the
I like the overlay
of
and stuff. Yeah.
breaking the border. Yeah.
Right.
So what you love about pizza, there's many different types. Submit. Your answer has been submitted. Click here to check the results. So it's kind of like for polling. All right, so tell us more, Ash, since you are in chat.
Oh, perfect.
We'd love to see. Yeah, and I think you're right, Jan Eric. This text gets a little small, especially since it's this.
When you think about where it's actually on a phone, it's easy to forget about that when you're designing on the computer, though.
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely something to think about.
And it could still work, but yeah, not in its current iteration. I think you need to definitely work on the legibility. Results, the results screen. I think this might have been an XD challenge to day 6 challenge. All right, so let me just check out Ash's. So, boom. So, okay, sorry about that. Looks like all of them are in this same. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
right
okay.
down here. Ah, no wonder it wasn't quite matching up. But it is. Since we were
Right.
talking about pizza, I thought
Yeah.
it was like the same thing. Okay, so this is perfect. So, Ash has been working on this for the past 6 days, 4, 5, and
So
then
here's
these
the
are all
main one.
great. Wow, yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, I love the theme of this one. Really clean.
All right, so search for someone. We have Saiwan as the person we're going to send money to or request money from them or refer, maybe dive into the payments. There we can select from contacts. That's cool. I love this.
Really like that screen.
It's really subtle, but I like it when this is just really, kind of nice and light.
Right, yeah.
If it was just a black rectangle.
Yeah, when I
Not so
do
much.
like white backgrounds, I love doing the shadow effect like that with the nice rounded corners.
Yeah, works really well. So you select the person, choose to send the money. If you could just fill in the rest of these numbers, that'd be great. Just kidding. You have, oh, here we are. What is this all about? I think I can read.
I hope
I think
you
I'm
do
going
not
to take the
use
rest of
your
the day
true
off. Yeah, don't
card
do
number
that.
in there.
I'm happy to enter my password for things, but not my credit card number. Okay, perfect. So enter that in. It's everything as we expect. What I also love to see is, anytime you can scan the card.
Yeah, yeah.
And boom, 150 has been sent to Hedshul.
Cool.
You know what I feel like I've been seeing more of?
Yeah.
Are these little, this is a complete overlay, which you can actually do in XD.
Right.
Sometimes you'll get once you hit confirm, just this bottom part changes.
Yeah.
You know.
Like a little overlay.
Yeah,
Right.
so the rest is there, but then, it's
Yeah,
kind
it
of
could
like
be fun
a
to
pop-up.
experiment with that more than the traditional way.
I think this is pretty solid. Literally, not even one day. We're talking mere hours.
Yeah, that's killer.
Did Ash work on this?
Yeah.
So Ash wins. Congratulations, Ash. That's currently the only one we have submitted, but again, that challenge just started. So.
Right. Yeah, I love it.
I feel like we're even noticing an improvement. I know we started on day 1, and
Yeah.
we were kind of, well, what about this? To today, only
Yeah.
6 days later.
Yeah. I think he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, very cool. And again, I can't help but scroll through some of these others.
Yeah, might as well check him out.
Ooh. This is all about, it was a flower ordering app
Oh, cool.
for yesterday. So, select a flower.
I really like that.
Every flower is a soul blossoming in nature. Deep. But I like it. Ooh, what do you think of the font? It's kind of interesting. A little
Reminds me of Back to the Future.
a little techie.
Yeah.
I really like.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
Back to the Future. I don't
Okay.
know why when I saw it. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to work.
But this makes it. You could
Distraction.
You can comment all you
Distraction.
want. But the color is very modern. Like this
Yeah.
totally works on brand. I get it's a little techie, but it can be considered modern. You have this modern
Right.
color, and I just love the color. I think the font works really well in here. And just scrollable. Click 7 p.m.
Oh, that's interesting.
order.
I like that he's actually experimenting with stuff there.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Oh, I love this little. I would just love. I
Just
want to
playing with
touch.
it?
Yeah, don't you want to touch this? And
Seriously, yeah.
oh, very nice. Place order, order placed. Transportation app. Video calling interface. It's kind of like a Skype.
Skype redesign type thing.
Yeah. And then crowdfunding. Goal backers. All really, really pretty straightforward. So yeah. I'd probably want to see another color here, personally. Like,
Yeah.
I think it needs a complementary color. Like, I want to see an
Absolutely, yeah.
orange or yellow or some. Like,
Something
this
that kinda
bar
stands
is
out a
supposed to
little
be
more.
the exciting part. Like,
Right, and it kind of blends in just because everything's the same color.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So, but great job, Ash. Ash is killing it.
Getting
There's a
better with each
prototype
one.
for the day 4 one. Oh, you're killing me. You're doing quite well. We might not have time to. Ooh, this is a. Okay, so I'm glad. Ooh, look, perfect. See what Ash did
exactly
here, by the
what
way.
you were talking about.
Yeah, so this is an embedded, uses just the embed code in here because I want to book the car right here, clicking on it, book.
That's awesome.
then-
That's great.
Ah,
Nice work.
slow clap.
That looks so good.
Oh yeah, Ash. So essentially what happened for Ash's project, not pizza, but XD, here we are. Ash just went to publish prototype, and then once you do that, you're going to get the embed code is going to be a little icon right up here. And I thought that was cool, taking that, dropping it into Behance. And you got a working prototype.
So you can actually check it out, and it's awesome.
Oh, look at Suzanne mentions a good question about whether something is compliant, WCAG 2.0 level AA compliant. That's a good point. Like, is it legible?
Right.
There are actually apps. There's a nice desktop app that, geez, who made that? So yes, you are bringing up a point that I think we often forget about. Is this going to be legible for people who are, say,
Accessibility,
colorblind
right.
and accessibility issues? You good?
Yeah. It's definitely something you should be thinking about as a responsible designer.
I concur. That's all I'm gonna say as I'm working.
So
Isn't
where
it
are
funny?
you now? Update us.
You're moving. You're moving. You're moving.
Okay,
liking what I'm
so so here's what we're doing. So we're actually gonna create a mobile experience. In yours, you have a cart that obviously you have more ability to show certain things. Like for instance, you've got this, right? And I can't do that.
Right,
So what I'm actually doing is I'm going here and I'm dividing this with an overlay, and I am actually gonna have a cart button that when you press it, it will
I see.
actually slide up and give you. Oh, fun fact, if you select this right here, I don't know if we can zoom in here on my screen, but this right here actually allows you to do the radius for just the top,
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's
top
awesome.
part. So we can do the radius. But then what it'll do is we'll have this card effect that comes
Right.
up. And then we'll
So
have
you'll
an
tap the
overlay.
cart button and it'll just slide up.
That's correct. So you'll be able to
Killer.
see what it is,
Kinda
and
like
you'll be
what
able to
we were just looking
see. What were you looking at?
They had a feature similar to that where you tapped and it slid up.
Oh, it's
So-
it's actually popular.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about web is you want to make sure you look at iOS and Android apps and say, what are they doing there? And then adapt that, because that way it gives your user ability to be like, oh, I'm used to this on Facebook or Instagram or any other type of app that they're using, and it's second nature. So they just know how to use it.
Yeah.
It's not copying.
No. You're not copying at all.
Right.
Like, you want to do it the way. If there's any current methodologies for accessing something, like, do that same thing.
Agreed, 100%. I mean, make sure where credit's due, you give credit. But I do think that you should actually. I read this book called The Norman Design. I don't know if
Yeah,
you read
no,
it. I love it.
Don
And
Norman?
Don Norman, yeah. He actually worked for Apple. He's got a huge. But he talks about like these Norman doors that were people. They're just a
Yeah,
bar.
those are
People
pretty
get pissed
popular.
off at them, right? And it's. he talks about humanizing design, and I've actually implemented that into a lot of the things. Is don't recreate the wheel. Focus on the value.
Yeah, don't make it harder than it needs to be. I would
Right.
even suggest, even as we get into say the ordering, literally like do shots of other apps and like drop them in here.
Yeah.
You know, I would just do that.
Yeah, go through
It's
your
like
process.
you can recreate somebody else's interface. Like
Your-
I don't
I
know.
think that's a great way to practice, actually.
Your brand will
Yeah.
help you distinguish between the difference, not
yours.
the
Yeah.
concept there.
And I think what happens when you do that is you'll start to notice just all the nuance of the design that you just did not realize. You think something's simple, it's more elegant than anything, you know. So yeah.
For all those who are trying to create a website, just realize is that Facebook didn't make their. Go look up how they were made, or there's a website that they pointed out like, hey, this is what Facebook looked like when it originally came out, and this is what it looks like now. This is what Adobe's website looked like when it originally came out. You know.
Oh man.
What Adobe Illustrator? What product of Adobe's? What was the first one you downloaded?
I think it was like 3.5 Photoshop. Like even before that, by the way. But yeah, I'm talking in college.
How was clip masking in that?
They didn't have them. Like they just came out with layers,
Okay,
and I thought
wow.
it was like 3.5
Yeah.
or
Dang.
3.0 or 2.5, kind of like around there. But we're talking 94. But that just shows how old I am. And I want to recognize somebody that's Mauricio from Colombia, which is my favorite country in the Americas. I love it. This side of the hemisphere, or actually south of us. Just switched to Adobe XD. He's trying to get all the skills that he can.
Good news is it's
Welcome.
super easy to learn.
Yes. And a time check. We have about 10 minutes, just so you
Sweet.
know.
I'm just experimenting with some of the design stuff we'll be kicking into tomorrow when we get since the wireframes are done, we'll be getting into the actual design of the site. So I'm kind of just experimenting with some colors and some design styles of what we'll be doing tomorrow. So it's a little preview.
Very cool. Ingenious Pixel, I want to say hello to you. Welcome. Yeah, there definitely was not clipping masks back in the day, not in Photoshop. That was like, I'm pretty sure you even had to rasterize text.
Wow.
I don't even think it was like editable. Like it was just too long ago. I don't even want to think about it. Just layers. I just remember layers. Like, oh, that's pretty sweet.
Right.
Maybe they could we could all act like we're reminiscing, and then we go back to a time.
Oh,
Can they do that? Can they? You know.
I
How
like
good-
the idea.
How good is this? How good is the
technology?
yeah. There's a team. What do you call your team that does all your special effects? There we go.
There you
yeah.
go.
Okay, so I am done.
I think I have
Oh, let's
Photoshop
look
2
at
on
it.
my machine.
So you got all 5 pages?
Yeah.
I'll try to see if I can open it.
There was one thing I suggested. Obviously, you guys were doing something, but I
Right.
do suggest that under the About page,
Okay.
and I'm having world live conversation
Yeah.
here. I suggest that we add reviews here because that's showing.
That's smart.
So
So should we
I think just
paste,
copy and
or
paste. Here's
do
what
something
I'm gonna do.
different?
Since I've already got it in mind, I'm gonna actually grab this,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna move this down. Yep, that's how it is. Just gonna move it slow. Anticipation. Sorry, I did that on purpose.
Oh, Eric, you're too kind. He says you're making Utah proud. Right on, guys.
Shout out to
Much
Eric.
love.
Thank you so much. But Bashar is asking, what key skills do you have to work with Adobe XD?
Just creativity, I would say.
Yeah, and I would say like
Does that look?
basic graphic design skills
Yeah.
will go along. Design fundamentals will go along.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the great thing about XD is that you could really get into it, and it's super easy to learn. There's not really a learning curve. Like, the tools are just so simple to learn, especially if you have any experience in any of the other Adobe suite. Then it's super easy.
Yeah.
I would just say, yeah, being able to know how to organize graphics would really help a lot.
Yeah, and I think what you two do, obviously being designers, are very, like, you're making these intuitive decisions like all the time. You know, we could talk about those various, you know, screens, but it's all about like leading the eye. You know, it's like you don't have too many things yelling at you. Give somebody something to focus on. What are they focusing on? Hopefully the most important thing, right? Does it have a color? Does it not have a color? What color is the background? You know, and just like I think establishing things in terms of reads is very important because the client wants everything to be important. And your job is to say this, this, and this.
And I would also add to that time.
Yeah.
If we look at 11, how many years have you been in these?
20.
20? Okay, so if we look at year 1, Paul, versus year 20,
I've maybe this much.
people grow, and like, so this, and I'll kind of point this out on my screen because I'm done here, and I'll kind of go over in our last couple minutes we have here. But so some of the things that years ago I never would have thought of this, but actually this is going to be our logo, and this is going to be our menu. And when you click the menu, what I thought would be cool in this is that we rotate it. Kind of like a pizza rotates when you spin it. We rotate it, and then the menu opens up here.
I see, yeah.
And then the
sweet.
X goes here, right? So I'm thinking through these animations as I create this mobile experience. Another thing is too, and I'm gonna hit play here. So this button, I'm like, you know what would be cool is if this was fixed to the bottom. So as I scroll down, that stays with me, and I'm creating that mobile experience just as if I was in an app, like your app that you use for.
Right. So as you go through the
Phil's
like
coffee.
the story of
Phil's
the
coffee.
site, then you can decide. Yeah, I do want to order.
And then the
now.
other thought I thought was, oh, you know what would be cool is we have this concept here is as you're scrolling down, these slide in, and they don't go all the way over, but they're broken, right?
It kind of animates in.
And then just to keep things simple on this, I wanted to move all of the reviews from their horizontal grid to just a standard vertical grid. Then we've got logo and our 3 maybe legal links down at the bottom.
Typical footer stuff.
Yep.
Sweet, dude.
So that's where it is.
Yeah, that is cool. I like how you. Thank you so much for describing all of that because you're obviously
you did a great job at
seeing.
explaining it.
Yeah, seeing things that we're not quite seeing, but it's like it's already coming together in your mind.
Right.
Even though we currently just see boxes, so this is going to get exciting.
So the other thing too and then I'm going to jump into this because the rest of it's kind of the same concept here, right? We have our boxes, we have kind of those are the key things, and I would put notes in here. I would publish it and then comment notes actually for the developer to say this is the thought process I was thinking.
Yeah,
here.
that's really good.
Until we get animation in
That's really good.
inside of Adobe XD, which you know it's coming. But as soon as we get that, I'm going to be super excited to actually map those things out. But for now, I've got that. Now on the order online, I don't have that much screen estate, so I'm actually going to use the cart button down, and that's going to be fixed to the bottom right hand corner. I could even move it here because humans read left to right, so I could totally do it there. I could do middle, right? But I chose to put it in the bottom right.
I think the bottom right's good just because of the familiarity, like with email apps and stuff.
Totally.
They're always there.
And so
I think even the Starbucks app does something like that.
Yeah, totally. And so what would happen here is, and I would actually remove this here, and I would turn this into an overlay. Inside of here, I'd actually turn, so I'd go into prototyping, right? Got it. And then I would tie this into this.
Right.
And then I would do a overlay. So that way, that would basically talk.
So it just comes right over.
Yeah, so this would
makes sense.
slide up, and then you have your
love it.
content here. So this is what you're ordering.
So it's in your cart.
Here, and then down here below the line, that's going to tell you the cost, and here's your pay, because I want you to pay left to right. And then are you sure you want to pay for this, would slide up.
Very
and
cool.
would give more of the state.
I love it. So that's pretty new overlay. Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's going to
Very
be really
cool.
fun tomorrow once it starts coming together.
Yeah, and Ryan, you mentioned going from Sketch to XD. Just so you know, if you have Sketch files, you can actually open them up in XD, and everything will come through. So if you have symbols, whatever the case may be, you could just open up those files directly. You can even take a PSD and open that directly in XD and add these interactions like Chris was showing. Publish it out. You could just literally just publish out that prototype link for just a simple PSD that's one design, saying, hey, client, what do you think about this? And they can add comments in that space, which is cool. Micro interactions, by the way, with Pandi, that is coming as well.
I'm actually feeling this. It's like it knows to go back for me. I like that. I didn't know.
Oh yeah, it
that
does.
that.
So
It's gonna be fun. To
yeah,
fill
if
it
you
up.
do an overlay, it'll reverse that overlay transition.
So I just figured this out about a week and a half ago, but there's actually a record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It changed.
Which is
It
perfect.
changed. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I loved it. I didn't even know that existed. When I found out, I was like, no.
Yeah. You don't need to do any special save a sketch file. Save a sketch file from XD. You can't go the other way, but you could take your sketch file and open it in XD. So
I saw a minute ago someone asked how hard is it to come from Sketch to XD. I would say not hard at all, just because XD is so easy and there's no learning curve.
I've only been using it for 3 months.
Yeah, he actually switched from Sketch, so
I started in June, and I actually love it. And I've designed
so much
the new
easier.
website that's coming out for colors. I've designed a lot of the new stuff. So
all right, open this app. 30 seconds. All right, we have 30 seconds left, everybody. We're wrapping up our session. 30 seconds left. All right,
Flew right
so
by.
yes, it did fly by. How you feeling, Chris? Did you have fun?
Yeah.
We're not done, huh? This is just day one.
this is just
I feel a
the
little
beginning.
pressured by the chat, but I'm okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm hungry now.
We are hungry.
Yeah.
We're probably going to
Well,
go
now we have
grab
to go get some
pizza.
pizza. We
Thank
have
you
a
so
choice.
much to both of you. Zach Nielson, Chris Cannon, Paul Tranning here. Stick around with us. We have Sarah Raj up next. So hang out with her. Join us. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody.
See ya.
Yeah.